Even in death the Emperor of Freeport still rules. London, England, May 20th, 2018. News from the Bahamas. The Grand Bahama Port Authority is said to have been built upon a corrupt foundation. The founder had been convicted in the United States of America and served prison time for fraud. Groves was served Grand Bahama on a silver platter. Groves was allowed to set up an island he ruled. He created the police force, immigration department, banks, casino, land development company, power company and other entities that would make him lots of revenue with the help of a government finance and tourism minister named Stafford Sands. It may well be true that the powers vested in the Port Authority are among the most sweeping given to a company since England's King Charles II awarded Hudson's Bay jurisdiction over a big stretch of Canada in 1670. Over the years the Grand Bahama Port Authority has been accused of being an unchecked entity that stole businesses and land from unsuspecting islanders and investors. In 1957 Groves made a deal with billionaire investor Daniel G. Ludwig, who signed on to dig the Freeport Harbor. Ludwig licensed the only bunkering terminal and stayed on to build King's Inn Hotel with an understanding of building an adjacent casino and the International Bazaar. After everything was built, Groves informed Ludwig that he would have to take over the proposed casino project, stating his Bahamas Amusements Limited holds the casino monopoly. Groves then revokes Ludwig's franchise in the International Bazaar, running the billionaire investor out of Freeport. Investor number 2 to be impacted by the Grand Bahama Port Authority corrupt practices was licensed in 1959 as the first wholesale and retail petroleum company, named Petroleum Products Limited. The Grand Bahama Port Authority on collection of Petroleum Products Limited's annual statements, would use this information to create his own oil company. The Grand Bahama Port Authority then prevents Petroleum Products Limited from purchasing petroleum directly from Freeport bunkering, forcing Petroleum Products Limited to buy products through the Grand Bahama Port Authority, and then in July 1967 licensed their own company named Freeport Oil Company, with exclusivity in Freeport for petroleum sale. The Grand Bahama Port Authority then changes Petroleum Products Limited license so they no longer could sell wholesale petroleum and purchases were now to be made from Freeport Oil Company, and to make matters worse the Grand Bahama Port Authority made it known to all new and existing investors, petroleum could only be bought from Freeport Oil Company. As the years passed, persons holding shares in Freeport Oil Company have been Wallace Grove, Jack Haywood, Albert Miller, who were all incidentally president and VP of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, George Cates, president of the Grand Bahama Development Company, government officials, Bradley Roberts, Orville Turnquist, Allison Maynard, and also named on shares of Freeport Oil Company past and present would be attorneys Kerry Leonard, C.R. Julian Maynard, businessman Franklin Wilson, Bismarck Coakley, Philip Pinder, William Holland. This case has been tied up in legal limbo for over 20 years, which is to be expected, looking at the names above. On January 29, 2003 the owner of Boulevard's gas station Ambrose Gouthro from Canada took the Grand Bahama Port Authority and Freeport Oil Company to court, and after 18 months of legal rambling, Justice Isaacs declared that upon true and proper construction of the terms of the license agreement dated October 1, 1967 and made between Freeport Oil Company and Boulevard, as subsequently amended, the plaintiff did not assume the obligation to purchase all of its gas from Freeport Oil Company for the duration of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. A land dispute has been in the Bahamas legal system against the Grand Bahama Port Authority and its group of companies since 2003. The Grand Bahama Port Authority allegedly stole over 2,000 acres of prime properties from the Roberts family of East Grand Bahamas. The Grand Bahama Port Authority allegedly wants to settle by giving them 60 acres of replacement land away from the original beachfront. The Grand Bahama Port Authority and its group of companies are now refusing to compensate the family. And in 2014 the Hepburn brothers have been fighting to regain 10 acres of land that has been in their family for more than 6 generations. The land is now part of a gated community known as Fortune Cay. The brothers met with Ian Roll, the Grand Bahama Port Authority chairman, to no avail. The end result was to be settled out of court. After the death of one of the brothers, The Grand Bahama Port Authority pulled their offer for settlement. This is Peter Jensen, World Business News, London, England.